Didn't let that happen. Okay, bro, stop.
Hello everyone and welcome to Game 1 of the ANBA Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Milwaukee Bucks. Today's broadcast will be myself, my man Infa, and Raskas.
Hello, everybody.
Now, Infa, what are your predictions for tonight? Got two great teams
I
on the
think it's
court.
going to be a dominant performance by the Bucks. I got them taking it by 20 points.
20 points is pretty generous. Before this game gets underway, let's take a look at both teams. First, starting with the visiting Dallas Mavericks. They went 5-3 this season, finishing third in the standings. They finished first in points per game, dropping 101.7 on average. And they finished third in field goal percentage and first in three-point percentage. This gives us a little bit of an idea of who they are coming into tonight's game. Big three-point ball. Always works for them on offense, as we especially saw against the Toronto Raptors in the semifinals. That three-point percentage really came into play against another big three-point team. They went 0-2 this season against teams above 500, but the 5-1 against teams below 500 definitely carried them across the finish line. Let's take a look at what they've done this postseason. Fourth in points per game with 88.3. Keep in mind, take these stats with a grain of salt, as some teams have played less games than others. For example, the Chicago Bulls or the Milwaukee Bucks, who have only played one game. However, some percentages that do matter. They finished fourth in field goal percentage, 61.2, but second in three-point percentage with 56.3, keeping that high three-point game coming into the postseason. Let's take a look at some key players for the Dallas Mavericks. Harden's step back has been their guy down the stretch. 19 points per game, 17 assists per game. That's a double-double right there. 64% from the field in one game played. Love Sam, another key contributor, 17 points per game in 3 games. And What Diff, who had a great performance against the Raptors, dropping 29. Info, what do you see from this roster tonight?
The Mavericks. I see Harden's step back is going to have a dominant performance. No matter who's guarding him, but I do think that the Bucks' firepower is more, so they would be outnumbered in that sense. However,
tonight. I mean, Harden's step back is obviously their key player, so hopefully they'll still get it done despite the matchup.
However, in my opinion, the Bucks' defense is very, very solid. We got the leading DPOY candidate in Opal was come back from his suspension from being able to play. It'll be interesting to see how he plays, returning back to the court.
Now, on the topic of the Bucks, let's take a look at the Milwaukee Bucks entering the ANBA Finals. This season, they went a perfect 7-0, finishing first. They're still undefeated entering the ANBA Finals. They swept the Houston Rockets in the semifinals that finished over this recent weekend. Over the season, they finished fourth in points per game, middle of the pack, but they finished first in field goal percentage at 63.7. Their offense has been getting it done. Of course, their defense is what really matters for them if you actually look at their game. And from beyond the arc, they finished fifth in three-point percentage, 49.5, which is below 50%. Not really what you'd like to see, but of course, their offense within the arc and their defense is what carries them in big games. Let's take a look at what they've done over the postseason. Of course, they've only played about half a game in the record book, considering they did win by mercy goal against the Rockets in Game 1. They didn't even play Game 2 because the Rockets forfeited. So looking at their numbers, they're at 100 points per game in second until they drop to 50. But what you really need to look at are the percentages. I mean, 75.9% field goal puts them again in first, and then their 60% three-point puts them in first, ahead of the Dallas Mavericks. So first in both percentages, they're a really high-powered offense, despite their defense being what wins them their games. So hopefully it'll show up today against the Dallas Mavericks. And let's look at the key players for the Milwaukee Bucks entering Game 1. Lord Realm, of course, has only played half a game, but a 68 points per game is absolutely terrifying. Rumor has it he won't even be playing tonight. We'll see what happens within the Bucks locker room tonight. Maybe he'll show up, maybe he won't. A lot of people have him as this season's MVP in the ANBA, but again, we'll have to see if he'll show up tonight. 16
Yes,
rebounds
yes,
per
shown up.
game is also getting a lot of stuff done for the Bucks.
This just in, Gold Realm has entered the court. However, he is in street clothes. Take that how you will.
Keep an eye on that. Two other guys that showed up against the Houston Rockets in Game 1, Move Reader and Post Up Little Boy. They're both really high defense players for the Bucks. Of course, that's really what you want when you're in the Bucks system. Move Reader, 6 assists per game, 6 rebounds per game, and Post Up Little Boy, 20 points per game and 2 steals per game. Really getting the job done for the Bucks. And of course, they have Opal, who's in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. So you're really gonna have to get your points hard-earned against the Bucks in any game, really. So the question is, will the Bucks remain undefeated entering going through the ANBA Finals? That remains to be seen, because they're going up against a very, very strong Dallas Mavericks team.
It is true, but as we know, the Bucks defense can't shut out this offense of the Dallas Mavericks. Had in the matchup against the Rockets, they had a very, very strong performance on the defensive end. They didn't even let the Rockets score. It was a massacre.
But of course, this is where the lights are the brightest. So maybe there will be a change in tone from the opponents. Maybe not. We'll have to really wait and see. Let's see who's in the house tonight.
Seems like Gold Realm will not be playing, so
That's definitely an update. See if the Bucks can really have their offense show up tonight without him. I mean, if you look at the games this season and you look at the numbers, he's really been carrying the team. I mean, he leads the league in points. Not points per game, but points. And this is in playing half the games, so... And it's by a wide margin, too. But of course, the rest of the team aren't going to slouch back, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Another storyline to look at. Love Sam. Is he going to show up for the Dallas Mavericks tonight? I mean, obviously there's been some conflicts in the Mavericks locker room, but we'll see.
these two teams have not met before this season for their first time. Which is also interesting because they haven't felt each other yet. We knew. What do you think, Hubble?
I think at least this version of the Dallas Mavericks team. Obviously, there hasn't been a lot of changes to the Bucks team over the season. I mean, they lost Chess, and that was a huge blow to their offense. But obviously, things are still clicking for them. So, I mean, in the games that I've seen, their offense looks absolutely lost without a true point guard. But they're they're winning games, so I can't really take anything away from them.
That is true. Mavericks are a whole different team. As far as I'm aware, they were losing to the top contenders. Lost to the Raptors, I'm pretty sure,
Oh
in the
yeah,
regular season.
they
But they
they
came
lost
back
to all
against
the
that
big
stacked team.
teams. I
They had a
think
very rough start.
yeah, I know
Well, not rough start. They had a good start, but
they had a
it
very
didn't really
inconsistent start.
correlate. The middle of the season, it was very inconsistent.
By the All
They
Star break,
took
they were sitting
wins.
500.
Yeah, they were winning games against the Rockets, Lakers, but those aren't
Yeah,
valuable wins. You need to win against the big teams to really showcase your team going into the playoffs. That's why everyone had the Raptors winning, which I don't know how they didn't win, but I guess the Raptors will have to go back to the drawing boards and see what went wrong.
I mean they only barely beat the Raptors though.
They weren't expected to win that series, which is why it's
That
interesting.
is true.
They were down 1-0 in game one.
Game one was a brutal ending though. They lost by how much? One? Yeah, they lost by one.
It
So
was
they
a close
definitely
game, so
they were.
we didn't know what was going to happen in game two. It was before game one, we knew for sure, the Raptors have a good chance. They had a great firepower in the offense with Lark, who's actually an MVP candidate. But you know, Mavs they pulled out something we hadn't seen all season.
For sure, for sure. A lot of storylines entering tonight's game. For all the viewers, if you're unaware, this series will be a best of 5 in comparison to the best of 3 semifinals, and of course the one and done uh, playing round. Looking at our recent streams, we looked at Chicago versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn, of course, took that in a very tight overtime. And we looked at game one of Dallas versus Toronto, where Toronto came out with that one on top by 1 point. Of course, Dallas would move on to win the next two, and now they're here in the ANBA Finals. We're going to try and stream every game of the ANBA Finals, time permitting. So we're here tonight for game one. Both teams are looking pretty ready to go. Only a few more minutes until game time. Again, this is a best of 5. So game one may or may not matter as much as in previous rounds, because obviously there's still 2 more wins to go for whoever wins this one. But of course, it being game one, it's a very tone-setting match. So a lot of things to watch out for today.
Looking at the court, we got 3 times the amount of Mavericks players in attendance tonight compared to the Bucks. Will this be a factor in the changing of substitutions or what will happen here?
There's definitely an army out there.
Seems like they have a more depth in the bench. Bucks seem to just bring their main players, so they don't really rotate.
I mean, you could look at this on either side of the ball, really. I mean, is that docking their depth, or is it showing that they don't need it? Because we've definitely seen before that sometimes all you need are the 5 players that you have.
That is very true. We know people they love to play. They don't want to sit on the bench. If you have more players, it's harder to you know keep your team in good spirits because they want to play. They don't want to sit on the bench. It's the finals.
Yep.
They have like if you see they got more than 10 people here for sure. Now, how are they gonna spread these minutes? I'm not sure.
I think you just gotta make changes whenever they want them. I mean, at this point, you probably have one of each build, right?
Right, but
So depending
there's
on the
only 5 minutes in a
circumstance,
quarter.
yeah, but depending on the circumstance, you could call a timeout or even just make a sub on the fly and make changes as
It
needed.
is very true. They are prepared for any type of offense or defense they're going against.
I think if you're coaching Dallas right here, And let's say you've got a player on the court that's not playing as well, or even if it's a matchup thing, right? Because again, those matchups could really be what determine the game result. So let's say
It's
one
very
one of
true.
the Bucks starts going crazy, and you don't have a guy on the court that can stop him. Maybe you bring in a defensive player that can, or at least a player that can match up well against them, right?
Yes, very true. As we look at the roster, currently, the Mavs have three bigs on the court. They have Jonah, which is a rebounding stretch, and they have post scorer and a rebounding rim. They're very prepared on the center. Front court, they can always switch it around. Run five out, they can run five out. If you want to run a post scorer, they can run a post scorer. If they need defense, they have a rebounding rim.
I would imagine a lot of the thought behind a lot of the bigs is how do you stop the potential MVP?
Well, it doesn't
Anyways,
seem like he's playing, so I guess it's happy days for the Mavericks.
we'll see how that plays out. Anyways, without
He's
further
actually
ado,
sitting beside us. Same room. Oh, bro.
anyways, before game one becomes a present topic, let's look a little bit ahead, as our next stream will be game two of the ANBA Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Milwaukee Bucks, right here in quote-unquote Milwaukee. Join us, as that will be tomorrow, same time. Looks like game isn't starting.
It's going to be a very interesting series for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mavericks have definitely had the harder road to get here, going against the Raptors, while Bucks just had to go against the Rockets, who are clearly disorientated. Had most of their wins came from forfeit, so they didn't really play any full games. Either got mercied or they got a forfeit win. Our only notable win came in the play-ins against the Brooklyn Nets, who had a very sharp loss. As they had a great start, but their team did change a lot. Many players were not happy playing under Harry, so
Well,
going into the next season, do you think the Rockets will, get it together? 'Cause they do have potential. That game was proof.
there's been a lot of talk around Gorgrom with the Rockets. I mean, I'm not gonna add to the
Mm.
fire, but
I feel like that would work pretty well because the Rockets, they're pretty, their offense is not really ball dominant to a guard necessarily. I think he does fit in quite well.
nope. Looks like this game's finally starting. Anyways, to those just tuning in, welcome to Game 1 of the ANBA Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Milwaukee Bucks. If you're just tuning in, you didn't miss a thing, as we're about to head over to the tip-off.
You should have vote in the poll who you think is going to win. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. ANBA TV. The Mavs are really an army out here.
This game's finally underway.
Oh, what's going on here?
Big's out of place.
Trick inbound. Trick inbound, and they get the ball. The Mavs get the ball rolling with a 2-point
Oh, it's a foul.
layup. Mavs are currently running a rebounding rim.
Currently with the ball, sidestep, nails it. Bucks respond with a bucket of their own. Pluto, deep three.
Pluto for three. Dang.
Down the well.
The off dribble is money.
Might be a big game from Pluto today, eh?
Yes, sure, but as it looks like the Mavs don't really have a defender on the court, so interesting matchup.
Definitely is. Dallas, Milwaukee responding with a two of their own. Three, ended off.
Here's the big man going to work.
Kick out.
To that. A lot of posting up going on here. Tough shot. Oh, good. An interesting offense they have. Opal with the ball. Gotta create a shot here. Oh, bad pass.
Mavs get the ball back. Post fade, handed off. The pass. Logo three. Tricky. Wide open.
Post fade. Good shot. High percentage.
Dallas up 8-4 here in the opening minutes.
Paterno kicks it down. Here's the pick and roll for Milwaukee.
A shot clock violation for Milwaukee. Dallas will get the ball here.
Both teams seem quite, they don't know how to score on each other just yet. And this could be due to never playing each other. A new experience. But I think it'll take a few minutes for them to get used to it.
Oh.
That's another air ball. Puts it to 2. We've only been playing for 2 minutes. Comes Eternal. Oh, and a pick intercepts that. He's going all the way. What do you think is going wrong with the offense, the Bucks here?
I think they just can't find their stride, and they keep coughing the ball up. I mean, you just saw right there.
Do you think they are missing Gore? Yeah.
I think they really are. They seem a little bit lost without a true dominating offensive player. Milwaukee takes a timeout here.
Yes, and their defense seems quite disoriented as well. They had a few moments so far, but not really consistent. They have a few gaps where the Mavericks have been able to pick out with the off dribbles.
I mean, Bucks always rely on their defense, but Dallas seems to be picking them apart a little bit here.
Pluto is picking them apart pretty well. He's finding his shots. He has missed a few. They've been good looks, but he's not timing them. Other than that tough shot when he airballed, which I would say is not his fault.
I think he's just testing the waters there.
Mav starting big, also starting with 5 points, showing his dominance.
if you're in Milwaukee and you're down, let's say, I don't know, 20 or more at halftime, do you then bring in Gorg?
I feel like the damage is done. You gotta just regroup for game two and just switch up the play, especially for the Bucks, because I know how to. They never really, they don't really do substitutions as much as other teams. Always have one set team.
That is true.
I don't think Gorg will see the court tonight. Looking at the Bucks lineup, Opal has been his return after a few games. What do you think he's doing?
I think, I mean, from what we've seen, we're what, 3 minutes in? I mean, he's been the guy for the Bucks defense for a while. I mean, obviously they're a really defense-heavy team, but of course, it's been Opal that's led them to have that title, and I don't think they missed him too much. I mean, it was only, what, half a game, but their defense looked really strong against Houston. But then again, it's Houston, so can you really, like,
I feel like that is not an
you
accurate
can't
depiction.
say too much about it.
Houston is a very defensive-oriented team, which doesn't really help when you're going against teams which have better offenses than you.
I mean,
They
it
can't
worked
keep
well
up.
against Brooklyn, but Milwaukee's a different monster.
I feel like Brooklyn was a one-off game.
I think that was the battle of mid.
I would agree. No, necessarily the Rockets. They had a pretty good start against the Bucks. The game was quite close until Nathan the center was subbed on the court, and it seemed like they just fell apart defensively. I allowed Gorg Round to just go all out.
Definitely raises a question. Why don't you let him do that against Dallas? I mean, it's a bigger game, lights are brighter, but I'm not the guy in the locker room.
I feel like it's a bit unfair on Gorg Round. He brought them here. He's not able to play. Seems a bit. I'm saying,
And now they're down 9.
if I was Gorg, I'd be pretty disappointed. Wouldn't be as dominant without it. And we can clearly see with this poor start. Now, will they be able to recover from this? We'll have to wait and see.
Definitely. Gotta ask though, despite not making a lot of subs, it's a pretty long timeout for Milwaukee here, as they finally time back in.
The game is off. The Bucks have made a few changes here. Opal has been subbed off.
Cool. Making that look easy.
Beautiful shot. Change it big as well here. Q Clamps makes an appearance.
Over to the big fade.
So good.
Bucks fast break.
Amazing fast break offense. That's what you want to see. You need to capitalize on the Mavs' mistakes. Here's Pluto off dribble.
Wow.
It's been money all night.
Long lob.
Once again, time it's no good and it goes out of bounds.
Pluto. Hand it off.
Good find right there. Cut through the defense.
Double-digit lead for the Mavericks.
Danny bringing the ball up here. It's an open look. Amazing shot.
Pluto. He'll generate a double team. Off to the corner. Corner three. Off the iron. They'll go out of bounds with that board.
Bucks are slowly, they're bringing it back together. More focused, it seems.
Those changes must have got the Bucks where they wanted to be. Another off dribble three.
Amazing offense by Danny V3 Epic.
Seems like off dribble threes are what's making
The
this
key to
game.
success. Pluto and Danny have been on the money. Oh, and there's a steal. Yes, Twisted Paradox wide open on the left.
Oh, poked away. Mavs, fast break. They'll find him in the corner. At the break.
Good shot. And then that increases the lead to 7 points. Can you do it again? Danny on the run. Another off trigger. Man, well, that's been money all night. Man. He's only been on the court for a couple of minutes.
I mean, I imagine a guy like that feeds into the Bucks system well. That's a 3 for the Mavs.
He has 10 points already.
You think Danny could be the 3-point version of Borg for the Bucks here? I mean, a lot of their offense depended on that one guy, and now we see again that their offense depends on one guy again.
Oh, here we
alley.
go. Showtime basketball by the Bucks. Nasty lob. Pluto brings the ball up. Got 2 men on him. What a screen. He throws it away. Oh, here come the Bucks on the counter.
Danny at the arc. He'll lob it.
And he throws the ball away. Man, what is he doing?
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication on their end.
See. Very good help defense.
They get the ball back. At the break, at the logo. Oh!
Another shot to try it. That puts him up to 11 points on 100% shooting. Mavs sure are pretty efficient today.
Can't say I'm too surprised with what type of game we're getting tonight. Danny.
Oh, Danny goes his streak of shots.
In the playoffs, this is a 1-2 team in 3-point percentage. And Dallas was number 1 during the regular season.
Another turnover and a lob.
11.2 here to go in the first.
This is a point that necessary passer.
Half court.
Deep. So good. It does seem like the Mavs have really stocked up on these very good shooters. Able to shoot that from very long range.
It's carried
How
them through
can
the season.
this, the spacing is very important, especially in a tough situation like playing in the finals. Gorgrom has suited up and he's on the bench. We see him on the court. How would he fit into this game, in your opinion?
I think Borg and Danny as an offensive duo for the Bucks could be really interesting to see. I don't know how well Danny will do on defense. I know Borg isn't the best defensive big. I mean, he can carry his weight a little bit. Depends on his matchup, but I think offensively that could really help the Bucks get back into this game.
Yeah,
We'll see.
he provides that spark that's missing in the pick and roll. As we've seen, three free attempts at a pick and roll, it's fizzled out every time. He's had 2 turnovers on the lobs.
Whoever's playing big for the Bucks isn't doing too much.
We have another substitution for the Bucks. Funnily enough, they've made more substitutions than the Mavericks. Have way more players.
Not anymore.
Like they've left, so this is their team.
I mean, they're up 9, so. Another fadeaway.
It's money. Good transition offense. No good. Back out. That was a very risky pass. It was very good defense.
Oh, he had an open lane. Doesn't matter.
The Mavs have a very big advantage here on the front court.
That's a lob.
Danny with the ball as he tries to break down his opponent.
The screen will come from behind.
Amazing screen. He gets it.
6-point game.
Danny is on 15 points and 2 assists. He's really influenced the game here.
That one will roll out. Secure gets the board. Off to Danny. Logo 3! Bang!
Bang! Man, we are seeing the Danny show. This is incredible.
I mean, saw him that one game during the regular season, but I think we're really seeing the Danny experience right here.
Could he have been a candidate for Offensive Player of the Year? He had played.
Almost picked off.
I know. Post up. Pick and roll with Danny and this big has really improved.
Just like that, it's a tie game.
As soon as we talked about the pick and roll, they really locked in, huh? Crazy. A diamond brick wall will do damage.
Danny on takeover.
Danny dropping a 21.8 for 9 in the field. Just 4 minutes of playing time. It's pretty good.
Shot clock. Help comes.
Great defense. Here come the Bucks.
Danny looking to get the Bucks' first lead of the game.
Corner. Danny for 3.
No
Oh!
shot!
What a tough shot there. He banks it.
Are you
Amazing
kidding
shot.
me? With 2 guys in his face. Mavs
Pause.
respond. Let Danny go to work.
Let Danny cook. Here he is again. Oh my word. Send the double team. Looking at their starting lineup here. Post up little boy being a true defender. I really think the Mavs could probably attempt to help Danny. or else this is just gonna be the Danny show. Mavericks, like I said, they have no defenders on the court.
I sure hope it's a Danny show.
Oh, and he
Coughed up.
throws it away. And a lot of turnovers so far.
Rice picker.
Good.
Mavs retake the lead.
Going into halftime, who do you think will run away with this game?
That's a tough choice. I mean, Dallas got off to a hot start, but Danny, I don't know.
The way it's going, the Bucks are outscoring the Mavs in this quarter.
That one might be on the line. Rolls out.
Oh, good.
It's his first miss in how long?
I'd say he should be very lucky he's missing after that tough shot.
I think if the Mavs can then contain Danny and just let their offensive game work, I think they might take this one, but then again,
The big man hits the corner. Blocking foul.
no matter what happens
Is
here, they'll generate a storyline.
Danny.
That's another logo 3. Down to the
Dang.
bottom of the wow.
He's got 30 points in just 5. How many minutes has he played?
He came in at the start of the
Came in
second.
at the end of the second, actually. I mean, the first. End of the
End of
first.
the first, yeah,
Came
you're
in.
right. Screen comes in.
He has really changed this game.
I think we're in for real hoops.
He shines brightest on the biggest stage, the ANBA Finals. Big mark.
I mean, no matter what happens this game, remember it's still a long series. Corner 3.
Oh, good.
Mavs
Pluto.
fast break.
Amazing shot. Pluto is actually, he's got a big defending background here. He still can't stop Danny.
Pluto on take now. Those silver clamps are being put to work. Screen comes.
Danny's in front of Pluto here. He can do damage. Lob. Fortunately, he didn't time it. Here's the fast break for the Mavs. Ice picker.
Mavs with a chance to go into the double-digit lead area again.
Mavs big has been a post fading threat all game. How does this help? His guard
Bucks.
providing another option.
Danny in the corner, in his face.
Another tough shot. This time it won't go. Back out to Eternal. Shot is good. Cutting the lead down to 4 points. Pluto with the off dribble. Oh, good. Very tough shot to be hitting on a true defender.
Let Danny cook. Don't let him
And he
cook.
throws the ball away. Hey man, it can't be perfect.
That is true.
Fourth turnover. He currently has double the amount of turnovers as he has assists. He has 30. Oh my, what? Real Derion. Oh, Pluto! Dang. We're getting a show here. This is the Pluto versus Danny showdown. I'm here to see it. I'm here for it.
I mean, on Danny's side, do you think he's ran out of the tank already? I mean, he had a really hot start to the second.
Here. Amazing screen. The Dallas Mavericks are disoriented. The Mavericks still keep on a 4v5. I think the Bucks panic there.
7-point lead for the Mavericks.
Bucks have put their defender on Pluto. Interesting how he hasn't guarded him up to now, and they've had Danny guarding possession.
Race picker. Off dribble.
Amazing rebound to back up.
It's a 50-41 lead for the Dallas Mavericks. We go into the waning seconds of the second, and that one's tossed away. Ten seconds. Danny on cold.
It's amazing defense by post up. Makes you wonder why he hasn't been guarding ball this entire time.
Milwaukee will call timeout here.
While we're in the timeout, I have a question, Howell.
Sure.
Name your top 5 centers. It's a very important role.
Centers.
The ANBA.
I could probably name top 3 based on what I've seen and what I've looked at and looking at the numbers. The top 5 might be tough going near those 5. I mean,
How about you rank every team's center in a 1 to 5 bracket?
Every team's center, number 1, you gotta go Gorg, right? Tough shot.
I agree.
Won't get it off in time.
Gorg is arguably the best, not only the best center, but I don't know, he's out there for the best player.
Gorg number 1, obviously. Number 2, I think Board of the Raptors. I mean,
yes, I agree.
Raptors have a big 1-2 punch in Board and Rex. Board definitely. I mean, you look at some of the numbers and you look at what he's doing offensively. I mean, he can catch any lob that goes his way. He's throwing that thing down.
He was one of the only shining lights for the Raptors in their loss in Game 3.
Number 3, he's not on a team, but he was on Brooklyn for most of the season, so I'm just gonna slot him in as Brooklyn's big because Brooklyn doesn't really have a true big anymore. I'm gonna go Benzo. I think, I mean, you look at the stats, right? I think the only player in the ANBA that's averaging a double-double or more. But then you also look at some of the other numbers. He's averaging like 12 points per game, 11 assists per game. He's averaging a shockingly high 5 blocks per game. The next guy down is only at like 1, and I think that's myself. Myself tied with somebody.
I feel like
4 rebounds.
Hubble cannot be the lowest. Like the lowest has to be 19 Nets, who has had a very bad season. Which Hubble, okay, to be honest, Hubble, he had a few good games. One matchup against Gorg does not define his season. He did lead the Rockets, made the playoffs, and finished 4th.
I just don't think there's enough numbers there to really say too much. I mean, the Rockets, any game that they played other than the play-in has been a forfeit. Has been a mercy or a forfeit.
Even in the games where they've been getting dominated, so like, Hubble has been able to be a scoring option despite, their offense not clicking.
I don't know. Maybe you put him on a different Rockets team. Maybe. I just don't think in the context of ANBA centers this season, I don't think you can realistically make a statement like that just based on the numbers alone. I'm a big numbers guy. What can I say? I mean, YT
If we was talking about numbers, YT Net is arguably the worst big man of all time. Not only does he not provide the spacing that a stretch does, he's a stretch that cannot shoot. You might as well just make a rim protector with that.
Alright, to play devil's advocate or whatever, like heaven figure in YT Net's position, he plays decent defense, right? Like he gets the boards that a big man should. He
Okay,
has decent defense. I mean, the offensive numbers are pretty atrocious for a stretch,
so
which is
for an
the player
offensive
you
build,
want to do well in offense. I
I'm
mean,
sorry, I can't go with that. It's a true stretch. He needs to stretch out the floor. His main priority is to score.
I'm gonna pull up the stats
His
real quick.
defense
I'm
and
curious.
rebounding is not high. If he was to go against Gorgram, best believe Gorgram is dropping 100 points.
Oh! 20% from the field?
What I'm saying, he's
Are you
not doing what
kidding?
he's supposed to. If he was a rim protector, I'd say yes, he's a good big.
Alright, let's look at some of these bigs. Alright. We look at Brooklyn. They don't really have a true big anymore. Looking at who gets the boards for them. Rivers Shelf, he's played one game, 12 points, 3 assists, 9 boards. I think he's middle of the pack, right? That's your average big man. Is he a starter? Maybe, maybe not. I say
I
no.
feel like the
He's the
amount
only
of
guy
games
that
he's played
Brooklyn
is not
has.
enough. Not enough gameplay.
You look at the free agent page. Let's see. Who's making things happen? You look at the Florida man. You look at Benzo. He was that guy for Brooklyn until he got dropped at the end of the season. 12.7 points per game, 11.3 assists per game. No steals, but you don't really need a big man to get steals. 4.7 blocks per game, which is absurdly high. 4 rebounds per game. Not the boards you amount of boards you really want from a big man, but then again, he's making a lot of stuff happen. He's a really big defensive guy. I think, like, as a commissioner, I put him as my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm just gonna leak that right now on the air. He's my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. And I think the blocks carry a lot of that, and from what I've seen, he was that big defensive presence for the Brooklyn Nets. You look at YT Nets of Chicago, he's an absolutely abysmal shooter. Um, Dallas, I don't even know who their big is.
YT Nets should not even be on this list, in my opinion.
You look at myself, I'm a
If
pretty
we was
middle of the
talking
pack
about,
big. The Lakers
I
don't
feel
even
like
have a big.
you should be on the list because dropping 20 points as a big man, that's points per game at least. At one point, he was averaging 22 points. Am I right?
Bucks call a timeout here as we enter the second half.
And I wouldn't say Hubble is the worst big in the league. Definitely middle of the pack.
You can't be
Average.
a worse big than YT Nets, and the only reason why he's even on the Bulls is because he owns them. And I'm just gonna start shit talking him. He's only there because he owns them. He's a pretty iffy player on defense. On offense, he's an offensive black hole. I don't know.
If you're gonna make a stretch, you
Bombastic
gotta give
side
him
eye.
good offense, and he
Criminal
just does not have
offensive
that.
side
So
eye.
really makes him useless.
What can I say? Anyways, entering the third quarter of the ANBA Finals, Game 1, Mavs Bucks. Mavs up by 9. That is a decent lead. I mean, from what we've seen, the Bucks can come back from that. They've came back from it like twice now. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Danny D3 on cold right here. Off
He is
dribble.
still on cold, but he gets off cold for that amazing shot.
Just
There
we're
goes
gonna
his
take
cold
a
streak.
quick moment to check out the chat. We asked you at the start of the game, who's taking game 1, Mavs or Bucks? 10 of you voted, which is a new high for ANBA TV, and it's split 50-50. That one rolled in.
Pretty
From
interesting.
what you've seen so far this game, who do you think could realistically come away with this? I mean, obviously, Dallas up by 9. What do you got?
So, like at this point, with Gorg on the court, they gotta use him. If they don't, Danny, he's been ever since that hot streak at the start, he's been quite inconsistent. As you just saw, he just missed.
Oh, wide open.
And now the Bucks have lost their defensive presence around the
Mavericks up by
rim.
double digits here.
They gotta just let Gorg cook, man.
Gorg on the court? Oh, he is. Let's see if that helps the Bucks get out of this hole. Corner.
Post up. Nails it out.
5 seconds
There's
left. Danny
Danny.
pushing past. Wide open
Good
layup.
shot. It's a good play right there. True basketball. Fans would love that one. Taking the high IQ shots. Oh, we've just got 3 more votes on a poll, which has put the Mavs up 54%.
Fade away.
Gorg's realm lack of defense really showing, as Mavericks big has dropped 4 points in 2 possessions.
Danny with the ball
Comes
here.
Danny.
Double
Like a
team
breakdown.
comes.
Kicks
Off
it
dribble
out.
at the break.
Amazing shot. That cuts the lead down to 8. A lot closer before the half, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh. Pluto with authority.
Very impressive that Pluto's doing this with bronze offense. Oh, Danny. Oh, man.
That man's gonna need surgery. Oh my god, his ankles.
Bucks hit from the corner. Ice Picker. And another defensive breakdown for Gorg. Coming in a very common occurrence.
Now at 14 votes, 57 have picked the Mavericks. We'd like to thank you guys in the chat and just watching again. This is probably our biggest stream yet. Of course, it's being the ANBA Finals. We plan to have a lot of more of these next season, so stay tuned for more information on that.
Gorg with this shot, no good. It's a very tough start for Gorg. What is going wrong?
I don't know. I mean,
Milwaukee timeout. Proves our point. Something went wrong here. They're down 13 points.
you can make the argument that because Gorg isn't a defensive big, maybe they've lost a lot of that presence on the inside, but you can't really make a statement like that when this team is now finding themselves in a hole this big. I mean, you can say that one matchup has made a difference, but a lot of these Mavericks points are coming from beyond the arc.
Well, they have had 6 points in the paint since 8 points now since Gorg has been subbed on. Any good cuts the lead down to 10 points.
In Gorg's face. Lead back up to 13 for the Dallas Mavericks.
Here's Danny.
Legal
Legal screen. That is crazy. I haven't seen one of those in a very long time. Another matchup here in the paint. Kicks it out. Where is the defense?
Milwaukee calls another timeout here.
Only 2 left. So, Hubble, as we look at the Mavericks, the big has had a very good game. Dropping 17 points on very efficient shooting.
I mean,
He scored half of his points.
But then again, you look at the defensive hole in the Bucks.
They have been struggling in the front court. They've had to make 3 substitutions. The previous big, he was holding it down, in my opinion. The paint defense, and he was doing a great pick and roll with Danny. He was getting Danny open with the diamond brick wall. No,
You would
it was
certainly
working.
hope that Gorg can do that, if not more, on the offensive side, at the very least. Bucks inbound ball here. Gorg throwing it home. A lot of games still left to be played, and a lot of this series still left to be played. But one of the biggest storylines, especially if Dallas wins here, is the Bucks. If this lead holds up, that's the first Bucks loss all season.
Which is kind of crazy to think, huh?
That is.
They haven't met up before this, so this puts the Mavs up 1-0 against the Bucks this season.
Or the alley.
Finally getting on the board. A disappointing outing here.
Dallas called a timeout.
Take our attention to the poll. The Mavs are actually up 60% now with 15 votes. You think this is true? Well,
I don't know.
the way it's going, I think it's pretty far from my prediction at the start. Both of our predictions, actually. We thought the Mavs would not be able to deal with the Bucks defense, but it's far from the truth.
Definitely been a very offensive game, I think, from both sides. Of course,
Pluto has been able to.
Dallas being obviously the superior team on the offense has really been the tail of the tape here.
Very true. Pluto has been able to get whatever he wants on a defending shooter. Kind of a yikes, in my opinion. Defensive players dropping 30 points. Something has gone wrong. Most of Little Boy is he's arguably one of the better defenders in the man-to-man. He's not been utilized pretty well. Having Danny guard ball and run the offense, which, might I say, it takes quite a lot of stamina.
We'll time back in here. Dallas to inbound. Tricky. Post fade.
Gorg is sleeping. That puts the Mavericks' big Nipsu up to 19 points.
Danny, over to Gorg.
Working on his man. It's
Shooting
blocked
foul.
by Pluto. But it's a foul. The MVP goes to the line. Supposed MVP, I should say. And he hits both of them.
Good.
Very interesting.
12-point lead here, 2.5 to go in the third. Lots of time still left. Milwaukee can make a late comeback here, but that remains to be seen.
Comes Pluto. And work on that. Oh, here he is. Breaking down the true defender and the defending shooter. Kind of makes you laugh when you say it out loud. Something that's very different between the teams is the Bucks are very oriented on point guard offense, while Pluto is he gives the ball to his shooting guards like quite a lot, I'd say.
I think that just has to talk about the offensive depth that Dallas has, especially from beyond the arc. I mean, obviously, looking at the stats, that's a two. Looking at the stats, Dallas is number one in the league in the regular season in threes, number two in the playoffs, only behind Milwaukee. Milwaukee is out of bounds. Dallas will inbound on the offensive side. Deep three! Off the board.
No way. There's no way that's going in.
But I think that's being put on display here. Dallas has a lot of three-point shooters that they can always go to and rely on.
However, two of their shooters have not been very reliable. Bryce Picker is shooting 2 for 6 for 3. And the real DeReon is also shooting 2 for 7 from the field. Combined, they're shooting 4 for 15 from the field. Now you can see, I guess, quite a problem needs to be spoken about. They'd be having a way bigger lead if they could hit their shots. Seems like Danny's utilizing secure clamps, who was just on a big man, actually.
Puts in the work.
Here comes Pluto, man of the hour.
That's the
Nipsey,
first defensive stop for Gord.
Ice Picker, out.
2 seconds. Buzzer.
Very good passing by the Dallas Mavericks, actually. We're able to pick out a hole in the Bucks offense. The defense, sorry.
Less than a minute to go here in the third. Dallas by 11. Danny! Gord with the putback too.
When he drops him, an amazing pick and roll there. Nipsu up to 21 points. He's working his way over
Off
the
the
30
iron.
point mark.
Now
That's the end of the third quarter. How wrong has this gone in the second half? Milwaukee Bucks.
I mean, I think second half. There were pros and cons to the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you look at their offensive game. Danny trying to work again, but I feel like he's not getting the same looks that he did before. The Dallas Mavericks, to their credit, I feel like they figured out around halftime, maybe even before that, how to stop Danny. I mean, he hasn't had that same firepower, that same authority on the ball that he did entering the second. Borg got a few good looks here and there. I did really like him. He's gonna have to take over this game in the fourth. Like, I think Danny's great, but Gorg has to. I want to see the Gorg that we've all seen all season in the fourth. If Milwaukee wants even a chance at winning this game. And defensively, again, you look at Gorg. You need him to stop the other big. That's really been determined a lot. I mean, obviously Dallas relying on the three as they usually do, but I think Milwaukee can keep up with that. It's just the inside scoring is what needs to be stopped.
Yes, very true. I agree. Ipsu has dropped 10 points since Gort has been on the court. I was almost going to be 12 there. There's Gord, the transition offense.
8-point game.
Needs to utilize Gould more. He's been in a corner for most of this. Just came on the court. Like Danny has to let his big man shine. Pluto, that's good. He's been money all night. Trouble.
He has been. Might be one of Dallas's only reliable shooters. I mean, obviously, they're letting it rain as they usually do. It's just not coming in the same force that we're used to.
And Danny, it's a tough look right there. I'd say this is a pretty tough watch for the Bucks fans at home.
Oh, on his knees!
And oh my lord, Pluto is on a different wavelength. Secures his fifth rebound of the game.
Wide open.
Pluto wide open. What is post up doing? And he is on takeover once again. I'd like to say this game is well and truly over.
Definitely a conclusion. I mean,
There's only
some
5
people
minutes left.
have the saying, it ain't over until it's over. But the Mavs seem to really want to put this one away. Pluto on taking.
While Danny started off hot with 30 points in 4 minutes, Pluto's slowly taking him over.
Oh, on his knees!
Pluto is a possessed man right now.
18-point lead as Pluto has come alive yet again here in the fourth.
He's on 50-point watch.
Of course, this is only game 1 of the ANBA Finals. Or
Here's we look at the tail of the tape. Pluto and Danny have been the stars, right? However, Pluto has been keeping his teammates involved. Meanwhile, Danny has not as much.
I mean,
Danny has 5 assists with
Danny's
7
credit,
turnovers.
what shooters do you really have if you're Milwaukee?
Milwaukee have been running a true defender at shooting guard, which is, it ruins the spacing when they have the post goal on the lineup as well.
Oh.
Another bad shot by Darian, putting him at 2 for 8. Like you've said, Danny hasn't had shooting around him. Those shooters have been quite inconsistent as well. I'd like to point that out. Shooting a combined 5 for 17
Danny,
from the field.
Logo!
Logo. Fast break here. He finally gets a bucket to go. Puts him at 3 for 9. Here clamps. Been a little spark off the bench. Making pretty bad shots, man. He seemed frustrated. Another bad shot from the real Darian.
Watch your head.
Putting him at 3 for 10 from the field. 0 for 2 shooting from 3 points. This is going wrong for Darian today.
16-point game, 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Obviously, Milwaukee still has time, but they need a miracle to get back in this one.
They definitely did miss Gould on the offense. Not on
oh,
the
he's on his knees again.
Another
Pluto!
ankle breaker. And if
Pluto
I was
might
the
be sending
defender,
this guy to the retirement home. Oh my goodness.
oh, I would not show my face again.
I mean, Post Up is a guy that's really known for his defense, but after this, he might be more known for being on his knees praising Pluto. Pluto the 3. Now get Dallas past the century mark and past the 20-point lead mark. They're up by 21. That one's coughed up. Dallas another 3. And it looks like the Milwaukee Bucks will forfeit this one. Anyways, very anticlimactic ending to Game 1 of the ANBA Finals. I'm Hubble, he's Infa, and it looks like the Dallas Mavericks will take a 1-0 lead here in the ANBA Finals. Of course, it's a best of 5, but this was a very tone-setting match. What are your final thoughts, Infa?
I was not expecting this. Very, very poor performance from the Bucks as they take their first L of the season. Would have thought, eh? That's all for me. We will see you back here tomorrow night.
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offensive side-eye.
Hubble, he's Infa. This is Further Forum here in the ANBA. Live from Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Dallas takes Game 1, 104-80, forfeit win in the fourth quarter. Join us again here tonight at 8 p.m. sharp. You're watching ANBA TV. We'll see you tomorrow.